Hi, welcome back to the Two Yachts for a Saint podcast, powered by Acorn Joinery Leeds. Myself, Gaz, Carl, and Jordan, as usual. Carl, do you want to go into your news round straight away?
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be, whatever time of day it is you're watching, because this will be released on Thursday. Some news, but not too much this week. We'll start off with the Wigan Warriors forward Tyler Dupree. He's signed on loan for the season for Toulouse. Uh, Again, they're probably ticking a box in terms of building a squad at Toulouse. I mean, Tyler Dupree, he was at Salford, sort of made a bit of a name for himself there, Gaz. Just sort of upped and puffed at Wigan, limited minutes on the field. Is it a good fit for him for next season for that 1 year loan?
Yeah, he'll get plenty of game time there, and it's one of them where it's that Wigan side's hard to break into, it. I mean, you've got likes of Luke Thompson there, whoever I can't remember the props, what the other props are, because I don't really pay attention to him, being a Saints fan, but yeah, it's a good move for him. He'll get the game time he wants. He might get him to that next level.
Definitely. I mean, before he signed for Wigan a couple of years back, he was rumoured with Hull KR, and I think there was an official approach from Rovers, and then he sort of said, "I want a bigger club." I seen him on the back end of that one.
Yeah,
He could have been a trouble winner this season, couldn't he? So
every time he's going to
well,
get it in. I fucking love it.
and sold so many text trophies offers back into next year, mate. I will be dropping it in like nobody's
Yeah,
business.
what it'll be quadruple soon.
Well,
But
while we're on that subject, then Jordan, next piece of news: Hull KR and Brisbane Broncos. They've confirmed the World Club Challenge on the 18th of February at the MKM Stadium, the home of Hull City Football Club. I would like to thank the owners of Hull City Football Club for letting us use their facilities. And obviously it would have been great to have it at Craven Park, but for commercial reasons, we're going to the home of Hull City to get more crammed into that stadium. So I mean, it'll be a good spectacle. I mean, Reese Walsh, you may as well just come and live in Hull,
I know, yeah.
hold on, let me get my old car hat on.
Oh, here
Well,
we go.
especially Yorkshire anyway. I mean, obviously he was at Rhinos on Saturday for the third test, England versus Australia, and come February he'll be in the city of Hull playing at the MKM Stadium, sorry, against my beloved Robins. So that's a confirmed fixture. 18th of February. Put it in your calendars. I mean, it's one of them where you sort of see quite a lot of neutrals watch them type of games. Jordan, is that a game that interests you?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think we're all sick of seeing Reece Walsh. Like, you know what I mean? That's just another. I think that's just another game in it for him to give it to English. You know, gives a lot more light on him, doesn't it, as well? Yeah, it's a good neutral game. It is a good neutral game. I still believe that we think it's bigger than they. I mean, like I say, they stopped it for a few years. I think we were talking about it last week, weren't we? I think it's more of a bigger thing to win it if it's us than them, because I don't think they see it as a trophy really. Because
It's
in it
only a
through their
big
like
game when they win it.
yeah, in it through their pre-season or something when we do it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we've already kicked
I
our
think
season
it's
off when
selective,
it
isn't
comes
it?
round.
Yeah, so it's like a training game for a minute.
Selective.
It's like yeah, um, it's like a decent training game. You know what I mean? But I actually do think Carl will do that. I do. I actually do believe they'll do
Big,
that.
that is a big bold claim there, Jordan. I know you're
It
second
is.
team drovers like, but that is a big statement made.
Do you know,
Yeah, well,
it's
listen, we've beaten to it twice, so you know what I mean. You've got every chance that we had
thing
anyway.
is though, you'll get this, won't you, Gaz? Because obviously you've been in that position before, and obviously Rhinos have. There's a couple of Rhinos games right, I watched. Obviously a few at Ellen Road, and it does happen, where Aussies just come and they just don't turn up. Like it does happen. Like we've had it with some of our games, and it's you get on front foot, and you get, you know what I mean. You get a couple of tries in front, Uh, and it was just, yeah, it can happen. I mean, Rhinos did it. I think it was Melbourne Storm. I think it was 11-4. I think it ended up. That was Ellen Road, and it was like the worst wind in like at that time. Um, Whoever were playing against wind, it was just ridiculous. But we actually hammered them all game, and they just didn't turn up, and it was one of those. So it can happen, mate. It can happen. Like I say, and with it being on home-ish turf as well, I'm sure you'll get. I mean, I don't know about what you think, but would FC fans be behind you, or would they not?
Me being obviously biased towards the Rovers, but I've got family and friends that are black and whites. I mean, there's a very good chance that there'll be a lot of sad and frickle Hull FC fans wearing Brisbane Broncos shirts on the 18th of February. That's how sort of thing either I've already got. Yeah, without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt. Just to try and spite them. To try and spite Rovers supporters like myself. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a massive occasion. The 25,000 in there. Like you say, a lot of neutrals like yourself.
For me, and obviously you see it as I see it, and obviously I'm sure Gaz would see the same thing. When it's something like that, if I used to do it as a Rhinos fan, obviously, before Rhinos started winning trophies, and you'd be watching Bradford and St Helens and Wigan playing at World Cup Challenge, you actually do support that team because it is almost like England versus Australia. So you would think the whole of Britain would be behind. So yeah, for some people, especially English, should go, "Oh no, I'm putting Brisbane Broncos top on it." Be a bit like, bloody hell, it's a bit harsh. That like, surely you'd want us to win. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's one of them, innit? In all seriousness, whether sort of team it is, if we're all English, aren't we? Like with the national team, you'd want that English team to sort of win, wouldn't you? I mean,
yeah.
We're all different. We've all got different mindsets, and that's the beauty of sport, innit? It brings different things out, for different people.
It's like when Wigan played Penrith. Like, I mean, I looked at it as the trophy staying over here where it belongs. And also, Carl, I need to ask you this because I've seen this on social media, and I think it's only one person that said it, but they are, what's it called? The MKM Stadium. I've seen KR fans calling it Craven Park West.
Yeah, Craven Park West. That's what it's sort of already been named already by a lot of Rovers supporters. I mean, we'd never ever be able to claim that if it was owned by Hull FC. So, like I said, fair play to Hull City for letting us have it on. So yeah, that's like I said a minute ago. That's locked in on the 18th of February. Hopefully, it'll be a great spectacle for Super League and the NRL, and hopefully we can get the best game possible on the day. Bradford Bulls, they sign utility player Connor Wim, just on a 1-year deal. He's played for numerous clubs over his short career so far. He's played for Hull FC. He was at Featherstone last year. I mean, he's probably another squad player that's going to tick a box for the Bulls. This was interesting. I've just sort of read this on the way home from work tonight. Huddersfield prop Oliver Wilson has completed a move to Wigan Warriors for 4 years. And it actually comes with an undisclosed fee, Gaz, which is very, very rare in rugby league, isn't it? I mean, he's an handful, and he'll probably make Wigan's squad a lot stronger.
I mean, if they've grabbed him for 4 years, that tells me they don't really have plans for Dupree, to be honest with
you. Yeah.
I think they're just trying to see how he goes, but they probably want him out by the sounds of it.
Well, it's like they've got Warrington signed. Is it by what his name is? Forward.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they probably needed another prop anyway, didn't they?
I think you can read into that Tyler Dupree's gone to Toulouse on a 1 year's loan. Pardon my language, but it's shit or bust for him. That's what we're going to see in it. Like you've got a season to go out there and prove yourself. And if you do, we'll have you back. If you don't, we're going to move you on because we've now got Ollie Wilson in the squad, and he's a long-term fix with a 4-year deal. He gives him a bit of size, doesn't he? And he's obviously going to be an handful. bit of a rumour, this one. Again, in terms of Huddersfield Giants, you'll know a bit about this guy, Jordan, because he used to play for the Rhinos. Ashton Goulding. Rhinos, obviously, he played for Rhinos back in the day. He's probably at the latter end of his career now, so to speak. He's been at the Giants for a couple of seasons. He's played 13. He's played hooker. He's played numerous positions. He's rumoured to be offered, which is, again, it's not something that you hear very often. You hear it quite a lot in the NRL, but not so much in Super League. He's been offered to other Super League clubs. Obviously, he doesn't fit the cap for Luke Robinson anymore. I mean, is he sort of one of these players who maybe a York or a Bradford or a Toulouse would sort of go for Jordan?
Yeah, I actually reckon he probably would be a good fit for York, if I'm being honest. I think York could be a decent place for him. I just want to say, though, me and my brother have always been a fan of Ashton Goulding. I don't know if you've ever seen his interviews he's had.
I rated him when he first brought through at Leeds, and he didn't play fullback at first.
Yeah.
I remember I rated him quite well.
If you've ever listened to his interviews, he's very well spoken. He's very polite. He's very, he's very much like Sinfield in a sense of like he's very good with his words, and he's got a strong belief with his words behind him. I actually feel sorry for lad. I really do. He's one of those players that slips through a crack where he just kind of
at the wrong time, weren't he? It's not his fault. Yeah. It's just he came in at that time.
He kind of slipped. Like he's kind of just been surviving a little bit with Huddersfield. It's like, he's been playing hooker and etc. And I don't know. I just felt like he was one of those players that he could have had his best years at a club that were going to give him a shot. And I just feel like he's been passed around. And obviously Jack Walker's doing the same at the moment, and he's getting passed around left, right, and centre. So and then obviously Jordan Lilly's just been passed to Sheffield Eagles. So there's a few players that are doing it, but it's just players like that, especially Ashton Goulding. I rated him, I really did. Like Gaz said, I think obviously if he were at the right time with Rhinos, Jack Walker were breaking through at the same time. There were a couple of clashes with positions, etc. But yeah, I do feel sorry for him. I think he, he's knocking on now, and I just think
I think the lad's underachieved in his career.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah, basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But I do rate the guy. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, Gaz is probably right in what he was saying there. When sort of Leeds had that golden era of players, he was sort of coming through at that time, wasn't he? And ultimately, when you're a team who's top, in and around the top and winning trophies, it's very difficult to break into that team. But it's very difficult also, to keep within the system without getting frustrated and you wanting to play games. And obviously, he wasn't getting that. Hence why he's been about a little bit. But
the worst thing for Ashton Goulding, and you guys will probably know this. This is about the last thing I'll say about the subject. Is I remember it announcing, I think it was Facebook when it got announced, and they did a video of him walking up the stands, and basically they zoomed the camera out and they did colours on pitch, announcing that he signed a 5-year deal, and they basically had Goulding number 1 on pitch, and it were basically saying to everyone, he's our number 1 now, for X amount of years. And then Jack Walker basically nicked his position. He were a high number, Jack Walker. I think he was 31 or something. Ashton Goulding started making a couple of mistakes. Playing top level against Saints, Wigan, KR, etc. You're gonna make mistakes. And Jack Walker nicked him and took his position. And then all of a sudden, that 5-year deal kind of sizzled away. And it was just, it kind of brought my heart a little bit for him when I first saw it, because it was imagine you're getting told you signed a 5-year deal with the team that you love and you're playing well, etc. And then someone just nips you, and it's you're out the door. It was that point now, I feel like I felt sorry.
The rug pulled from underneath him, basically.
Yeah, I did. I felt really sorry for him.
Well, before we move on to the next bit of news, I mean, what I would say is, obviously, I don't know the guy, but he's been around Super League for a lot of years. I mean, he comes across as a true professional, doesn't he? I mean, I think he represents Jamaica now. He's got that heritage within his family, all that type of stuff. So we wish him all the best wherever he ends up, because them sort of good pros at the top level are few and far between. So credit to him and good luck in the future, Ashton. Another piece of news from today. We all complain about how tries are given or not given in terms of sending it up for this and sending it up for that. Phil Bentham's come out today and made some headway on what they're going to do. They're going to try and next season, going to try and officiate the decisions of tries and no tries a little bit differently, pretty much similar to what they do in the NRL. So to go with the call on the field, and while the team who scored the try is lining up conversion, there'll be the video ref working in the background to try and get a quicker and more fluent decision. So we're not all hanging around, stuck with our fingers up our asses. People in the stands, don't know what's going on because we can't hear any comms or anything. So, I mean, Gaz, for me, anything to speed the game up.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be similar to like the bunker and the NRL, as we said, but yeah, I think we need it because when obviously, right, we all, if you ask 100 people, 99 people are going to say, get rid of the on-field decision. If you're going to go to video ref, just let them have a look at it and get on with it. Yeah, I think it's the right move, to be honest.
We don't want stoppages within the game, Jordan, do we? We get enough of that, mate, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just. We said last week, didn't we? I just think when it goes to video ref, he makes that decision. I don't think there should be. I mean, like I say, we'll talk about it further down in pod, but it happened again in Test series, so that frustrated me.
You get me started on those decisions in that series.
Well, before we get on the review of the third test, last piece of news. Obviously, it's been international a couple of weeks, hasn't it, for a number of nations. Just wanted to give a bit of a shout out to the nations that played in the Pacific Championships and the Pacific Ball Championship. Well done to New Zealand there, won the Pacific Championship, and Papua New Guinea there won the Pacific Ball Championship. An individual shout out to this is obviously my man from Rovers, an ex-Rhino, Reece Martin. He's actually won 4 trophies this year, and hopefully, like Jordan said, come around February, it might be a 5th, which I'm not sure if anybody's done that in the history of the game, but I'd have to do a bit of Google search on that. It's some achievement, that, Jordan, within a short space of time.
2022.
Yeah.
2022.
2022. I always keep getting mixed up with 2020, 22. Yeah, 22. Played a great game in that final, and obviously lost that one. And then moving on to KR, it's one of those, isn't it, as well? Like, I'm not talking about this season, last few seasons, or whichever. If you're gonna get signed by someone, I wouldn't have thought he'd have excelled at KR. Like, you would have expected him to go to St Helens, Wigan, probably win more trophies that way. And obviously, he's gone to KR. You've obviously absolutely smashed it this season, obviously, full credit. And his nips in there, and he's got his trophy. He's got all them trophies, and it's like, I just, when you come to the Conrad Harrell left Leeds as well, went to St Helens to win more trophies, and obviously it hadn't been the case for him. So it's, it's just flip a coin, isn't it, I suppose? He could have signed for you, and KR could have had the worst season ever. He's got a good goal kicking ratio. He's a quality runner at ball.
He just missed out on one, didn't he, to break the consecutive record, didn't
he? Yeah, he did, yeah.
The reason I asked you, Jordan, was because obviously when he signed for Rovers, you was a little bit shocked by it, weren't you? Because, like you said, he's obviously regularly kick out, one of the best back rows in the comp. You were surprised, weren't you, at the time? And I mean, I suppose it's timing as well, isn't it? He could have signed for Rovers, like you're saying, only won 1 trophy. It's just the way it goes sometimes.
That's what I mean. It's I'm sure Gaz would have had him at Saints or have him at Saints.
We've been crying out for a goal kicker for a few years.
That's the thing. I think anyone would have had him. I don't think. I mean, it'd be surprising because obviously I don't even know this. I don't know who we're up for getting him. I don't know if it was just Rovers. But and obviously he took Parcell from us as well. So there's obviously stuff going on at Rovers that is quite attractive to players and wanting to you obviously got good coaching staff behind them and conditions at pitch etc. Obviously is big for him. But for me, when he signed for you, it were that missing piece. I mean, and obviously you can say more than I can, but I don't think he's been kicking all season, has he? Because he's had some injuries, hasn't he? But
he's played on and off, and he sort of shared the kicking with Atamog.
But you've signed him.
When he has
I say you signed him for him to do your goal kicking. So come next season, if he's fit, he should be. I would have said personally, from my opinion, I would have said he's your goal kicker. But obviously, Escudé is a good kicker too, so it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really buzzing for him. I really am. Considering he's not a Rhinos player anymore, I'm still happy for the guy. Yeah, he's always going to be up there as one of my favourite players.
Yeah, and just to go on from New Zealand as well, I think the big shout out goes to Kieran Foran, bowing out to international champion.
Oh yeah.
He's been a stonewall over there. I mean, he's had numerous clubs.
Oh yeah.
I think about five or six clubs. And he's not always necessarily got the recognition for winning, grand finals and all that type of stuff. But he's played in some big games. I mean, he's just another one that's such a good pro down under. I mean, he goes under the radar quite a lot, and I know now that he's got obviously his career's finished in terms of playing, and I think Fox Sports have got him on the panel there most weeks now. So, it's the next chapter of his career, and like you says, Gaz, he's been an absolute stonewall over there.
Oh yeah.
All the credit goes to him without winning too many trophies. So fair play to him. That pretty much wraps up news round. I mean, for anybody that's listening, we're going to go on to talk about the third test and the Ashes series, etc. I'll apologise in advance for Gaz because I've been told he's up for a bit of a rant tonight.
I'm Gaz.
So there might be a bit of muting going on, but we'll do our best. We're all here for each other's opinions, and anybody that's sort of listening when it gets released, drop us a comment, a like, a share, a follow, because our opinions don't matter too much, but it's good to know that we've got similar opinions to all the other supporters who not just go to watch the games with other people that create content like us. So yeah, the two squads for the third test was as follows. England lined up with Brimson, Burgess, Farnworth, Newman, Johnstone, Williams, Smith, Lees, Litton and McMeekin, Piers, Paul, Watkins and Knowles. The bench was made up of Lewis, Walmsley, Smithies and Oledzki. The Aussies, they're lined up with Walsh, Adokar, Staggs, Trubisky, Marky Mark, Cam Munster, Nathan Cleary, Big Tino Fasolawari, Harry Grant, Pat Carrigan, Angus Crichton, Hudson Young, and the captain was Azir Yo. Their bench was Ruben Cotter, Pomlatangi, Tommy Deedon, and Lindsay Collins. Referee was Grant Atkins. Where do we start with this, fellas? Because, early on, Gaz, I think it was only within the first couple of minutes, Harry Grant broke through, didn't he? Put a bit of a kick in, and luckily for England, Joe Burgess was on the end of it to sort of get away with an early scare.
Yeah, I mean, they got the early try in. I was watching the game live, as you know. I was busy traveling, but from what I was keeping up with it, we kept them at bay for the majority of that first half, and then obviously they went 12 up, and then Jez Litton, right? I can't think of words for him at the minute. He's definitely the best 9 in Super League, without a question. I'm putting him above Daz Clark and Pape and whoever else. That break and the way he got the kick away under pressure like that as well, and got completely wiped out, by the way, off the kick. Yeah, got the breakthrough for England with George Williams putting his nose on it. No offense,
Oh, such
but
a
yes,
ball.
yeah. And then after
The
that, they
rant's
just
had begun.
yeah. Oh, that's not me rant. I've not started yet.
This
And
is
yeah,
warm up.
it just again got away from us in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, we'll delve into it step by step as we normally do and highlight a few things within the game. I mean, I don't want to ponder too much on selections, Jordan, but was that pretty much how you thought it would go?
No, no, not really. I did think he would have played as Clark. Um, we said I think when I said the changes last week, I'm sure Gaz agreed. I thought Jezleton, the best chance we had was him off the bench because he was our, fiery player off the bench. He give us a lifeline, I suppose. Obviously, weren't the case. We all know he can play 80 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and say he isn't, but you know, for me, I I think he's that impact player, and yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. That's just my opinion. I think, we know he can play 80 minutes and he's a quality player. We know how good he is, obviously. Um, I just think the way we did it from first test when we played Daz Clark and then brought him on and then had him on for the rest of the game, I thought that were a better option, but it didn't show in that game. I'll be honest, he didn't fatigue. He didn't show signs of slowing down. So full credit to him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we got off to looked like a bit of a nervy start, Gaz. I mean, 5 minutes in, you know, the man who came in on the wing, Joe Bear, he knocked on. There was a little hand in there from the Fox, and then on the next set, going to score in, Adokar, the culprit gets a reward, so to speak. I mean, what you're thinking after 5 minutes in, 6-0 down?
I thought it was just going to be an absolute whitewash after that. I thought it was just going to keep putting pressure on and pressure on, then
I've got
points after points after point.
I've got a point to make with that try before you move on.
I've got a point to make with a lot of the tries, to be honest.
Well, basically,
How long you got?
I said it in group, didn't I? Australia, I know this is quite a far down game. Australia lost their captain's challenge. We had ours till I think second half. I think even Davis said it on commentary, and anyone with a brain would have noticed that. That was the time, you see, where I thought we should have used the captain challenge because that try wouldn't have happened. I'm not going to sit here and say we'd have won the game or they wouldn't have scored anyway. They probably would have done, probably 10 minutes, 5 minutes later. But that car try wouldn't have happened because it were knocked out. Flick at wrist, it were knocked out, and we said we didn't even, go for it. And I just thought it was a bit stupid. And then the time we did go for it, it was a knock on from us. You know what I mean? Like, this is obviously what Gaz probably will be ranting about, but constantly in that game, all I saw were flick at wrist all the time in tackle, and it was peeing me off.
You know what? Funny enough, Jordan noticed. And the way you put in the group is not as PG as it is now.
Yeah, very modest of you, Jordan. Very. I mean, yeah. I get what you're saying with the captain's challenge, but for me, it's difficult one because you're only getting one challenge, and normally it's on the captain's say so. So unless they're 110% sure that they're going to win that challenge, they're all probably just thinking, well, it's a waste of a challenge. And then if there's a bigger moment later down in the game, you've got nothing to challenge with, have you? So I mean, I think in the NRL they have 3 challenges. You'd probably like to see 2 challenges. So if you do waste one, you've still got one in the bank, so to speak. I get it.
You don't ideally want to use it that quick, do you? Obviously, because you don't know what 80 minutes you're going to have. Do you? You don't know what decisive moment in the game is going to be like where you go, Jesus, that captain challenge, we've still got it. This is the point we need it because this might change game. But for me, regardless of what it is, you do it because you think you're going to win the challenge. It shouldn't matter what time of the game it is. We should have done it there. And like you say, it wouldn't have mattered. We might still might have conceded 5 minutes later. But for me, that just stung us that. And I just felt when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's going to be this sort of game today. I just think sometimes as well, I don't know why you'd have to use captain's challenge, because I just think there's enough there for ref to look at it and go, no, it's a rip. I don't know why. Some of them do it, and I know you guys will agree. It happened this year in Super League. I think sometimes, you'll use a captain's challenge, and you might even win it. But it's like, why did we have to do a captain's challenge when you could have made that decision and say it's a knock on or it's a rip? Like, sometimes you shouldn't have to use it. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes you just get lazy and they don't want to actually make a decision. So, and it makes you, kind of forces your hand to go, right, we're going to do a captain challenge and make it easy for the rest. It's just,
Or because of the decision they made with Dom Young, that so-called knock-on. They probably thought, we've got no chance anyway, there's no point even using it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, sometimes, and I'm not defending them here, because we all make the decisions and wrong decisions, and if they get it wrong, fair enough, just hold your hands up. But what I would say is when there's a ball strip, there's that many pairs of hands, pairs of legs, bodies in the way. I can understand sometimes where the referee's vision will be sort of impeded, or they're on the blind side of it or whatever. But I would like to see other officials, i.e., touch judges, sort of get a bit more involved if the player's somewhere near them. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. They went over scored. It was 6-0. Early stages of the game, it didn't get much better. 10 minutes into the game, AJ Brinson, he went off with a shoulder injury, replaced by Mikey Lewis. Mikey Lewis isn't a fullback. Part of me thinks that he's been hung out to dry in this Ashes series because he's played out of position twice and then 10 minutes in the other game. His first contribution towards the game was a knock-on. I mean, it's not ideal coming into a game into that position, especially against best team in the world. I mean, I think we can all agree here. We know Mikey's been hung out a little bit, hasn't he? I mean, at that point, I thought Fan Wolf would have gone to fullback. Maybe Watkins moved out. I mean,
with it, mate. I really was. I was really fuming with it because I just, it's one of those. I don't know. Gaz could probably say, is Wellesby quite a tall guy? Is he?
Yeah, he's tall enough, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think AJ Brimson's quite tall. He looks quite small. And I just thought Mikey Lewis is tiny, isn't he? Like, I just thought it was
small.
I just thought it was a stupid decision. And, especially with I-bombs and that, and he's going against, these wingers and centres, and it's like he's not going to compete with these. And that's no disrespect to him because he's not a fullback. And I thought he did a decent job considering. You know what I mean? I thought he did actually a decent job, but look, like I say, Richie Myler did it for Leeds, so it's not to say that he can't do it. I just think, hung to dry. I've seen so much criticism on Mikey Lewis.
This is where my rant is coming now.
Yeah. Where my rant's coming.
Go on, Gaz.
Right.
Go on, mate, before we move on.
What winds me up is when fans, especially on social media, they want to point the finger of blame at one person. Game one, Wellesby got it. And yeah, he had a bad game in his position as well. I can understand it from that point of view, but Mikey Lewis, he played 7. He played 9 for 10 minutes. He went to fullback. I don't think he's ever played fullback his entire life. And everyone's blaming him for the loss. I'm thinking, take your club hats off, put your England hat on, and go, right, he's out of position here. All he can do is what he can do. And I'm not having this cobblers of Sean Wayne can only do with what he's got. It's like, well, he selected that squad. That is on him, entirely on him. No one else. Sean Wayne, that is it.
I got a guy on TikTok. I can't remember what account it is, and I'm not even bothered to even say what he said because it absolutely infuriated me. And he come out and he said, Mikey Lewis in background on his picture, and he said these exact words: maybe Mikey Lewis isn't as good as we all think. And I was like,
he is not good in his position, though.
Yeah, and he started ranting on about Jez Linton, right? And I'm like, that's completely different subjects, right? I'm not going to sit here and they're not the same. Jez Linton, yeah, deserves everything. He's fantastic. He was fantastic, but he was playing his position. If Jez
Yeah.
Linton come on and played fullback or played wing, it'd be what I mean. He'd be getting firing line. But for me, Mikey Lewis, right? Obviously, I know we had massive issues. Brimson went off. Uh, we had issues. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, Carl, Farnworth probably should have gone fullback. You obviously know a bit more about it than I do. I don't know if he's a fullback, but obviously, even Burgess would have been probably a better shout than Mikey Lewis. I would have even put Callum Watkins in centre and adjusted it that way because he can play it and done it that way and moved it around where Mikey would have played, where he should have played. But yeah, he was basically ranting on about him, saying, you know what I mean, all eyes are on him, and he's failed. And it's like, when you're Sean Wayne, right, and you're that stubborn, I'll say it, Big Nose were picked for all three tests, was he not?
Yeah.
And he didn't play great. He had a couple, he scored that try from Jez Litton, which were decent, I suppose. His kicking game
All to
weren't
do
that.
was chase the ball, didn't he? You know what I mean? It weren't
Yeah,
rocket science.
I mean, his kicking game weren't that bad. His kicks to in goal weren't that bad, but he weren't outstanding. And for me, he's captain. He's the one that you stick your finger at up and go. He didn't play great, but no, they're talking about a guy who didn't even play in position. Got 10 minutes in first bloody test. Played hooker, played fullback, and he's a treble winning player. And you look at it and go, he didn't play. He won treble the season, right? He got man of match in grand final, world class player all season. What position did he play? Played six. Right. Okay. So you've picked him. You picked him for test series, right? Why is he not six?
He basically played
Well,
everywhere in the span apart from where he's supposed to be.
yeah. He's not seven. He's not hooker. He's not fullback. He's six. He's the guy that is the best six in the comp, right? So why would you play him anywhere else? George Williams, under par season, he's in there because it's his BMA. But if you're not going to drop Williams, right? My honest opinion, Mikey don't play in the game because I'd rather see him as a neutral. I'd rather see him not play at all than him play in a position that is going to make
shoe on in.
Yeah, because like you said, Carly, he was hung out to dry. And it's awful.
I'll just have my last little say on this before we move on to the next talking point in the game. I mean, I'm going to take my Rovers out off here, right? And I'm going to tell you what I saw. And I'll tell you exactly what it looked like. It looked like to me somebody coming on the pitch playing out of position and got caught cold. He obviously hasn't had much of a warm up or anything like that. I mean, who's warming up after 5-10 minutes expecting an injury? Nobody, are they? So he's come on the pitch. He's played out of position. He's misjudged the ball, missed that, and then another one where I think it was Hudson Young went in later on. He maybe should have put his body on the line. So as good as Mikey's been, he probably could have done better in them situations. But let's be honest, he hasn't had a fair crack of the whip, has he? And that, that's what I would say, to any of that.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm not here to, get up Mikey's backside because you know how I feel about Mikey Lewis as a club player. Gobshite, but gobshite's having my team. When he puts that England shirt on, I treat him like a Saints player. No, that's how I look at it. If anyone puts the England shirt on, that's how I look at him. And to see people just rinsing him online and thinking, do you know what? You don't deserve him. You don't deserve to see your country win something.
I think what we're really cruel as well is if you think of the mindset of Mikey Lewis, he played 10 minutes in first series, right? In first test series, right? He got brought on, didn't he, as a sub, as fullback 5 minutes in. He's probably thinking, all right, I'm going to get more game time here. I'm going to probably play a resting game, which is good for him, but he's out of position. So for him, he's probably thinking, all right, if Brimson wasn't injured, I'm probably getting a 10-minute game again. So, right, I'm probably going to play full game here. So, in that sense, he's probably quite happy about it. But in the other sense, he's thinking, right, I'm playing full game, but I'm playing in a position here that I'm not probably comfortable with. So, and there's more minutes on clock where he's got more time to make mistakes where people can point a finger at him, which is what they did. So, for me, probably playing 10 minutes will probably be a better option for him, really, because then at least he's not getting abused like he has done. But yeah, I just think it's stupid. I really do.
When he did feel his way into the game a bit late, 5 or 10 minutes further down the track. I mean, when he was coming out, the odd time he got a bit of opportunity out the back, you could hear the Headingley crowd making a bit of noise when he got on the ball. So we all know he's a quality player, regardless of what these people and idiots say online. I won't lose no sleep over some idiot who knows nothing about rugby saying he's crap. And I'm sure Mikey wouldn't anyway. So
it's a small minority of people, but still.
Yeah, he'll be water off a duck's back to him, won't he?
He'll come back in next season and start rubbing it in people's faces.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, moving on then, fellas. 25 minutes into the game, Australia sort of had a foothold in the game and was arguably the best team at that point. They spend a bit of time in England's red zone. Cameron Munster comes up with a short grubber kick, and this is what I was saying a second ago. Hudson Young goes over. Mikey probably could have put his body on the line a little bit, but he was probably a little bit cold at that point. Cleary converts to make it 12-0. It's one of them in it. At that point, I thought, oh shit, here we go. But to be fair to England's credit, they managed to fight back a little bit. They had a bit of field possession. We was good in D when we needed to be. And at that point, I think it was when Jez Litton went storming through the middle, Gaz, sent Reece Walsh for an hot dog. Not many people do that. So I'm sure Jez will be happy with that and puts it on the plate for Mr. Williams. He crashes over to make it 6-12. And obviously Smith gets the conversion.
John's going to get us cancelled in a minute.
Yeah, subscription deleted. But yeah, at that point, to be fair, we talk about England not being great and selections and all that type of stuff, but at 12-0, England could have folded, and to be fair to them, they dug in, they had to go, they defended when they needed to, and Super Jez, he storms down the middle and gets us on the board, and at 12-6, guys, you're thinking, come on, England, let's do this now, aren't you?
Yeah, you think they've got a chance there, but again, Australia, they barely got a second game. All they have to do is turn it that little bit, and the game's gone. Which shows the class that they've got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just before our time, Jordan, you was talking about ball steals earlier on, weren't you? I mean, Australia got pinged for one on the stroke of half time, and obviously we converted the penalty. And at half time, we're going 8 points to 12. We're definitely within the game at that point, aren't we?
Yeah. I know I put it on as a group. It's. We went in level, didn't we, in Test 2? Went 4-all at half-time last week, and then 4 points this Test. Like I say, I thought it was a good, 12-8 down at half-time. I thought it was pretty decent, really. I just think, like, when Gaz was saying then about Australia's team being strong, I think I thought, considering we had injuries in that first half and we had to adjust formations around. It was weird because that's the sort of game that you'd expect like 60 points past you. You know what I mean? Where you've had an injury and there's that much change in a team formation and stuff like that. But it's like we got up and started playing. But for me, you look at it towards the end of the game, and the facts are Mikey Lewis, who is your replacement, hooker, etc., how he's lined the squad up. He's come on early. So then you look at the bench and go, right, who's on the bench that's going to bring you, you know what I mean, towards the end of the game? Who have you got on there? And he had forwards on bench. So for me, obviously Brimson getting injured and having to play Mikey straight away, that were always going to affect us towards the end of the game. Hence the reason why I was saying about Litton coming off the bench would have been probably a little bit better. Give us something from the bench. But yeah, I were happy with that. I thought scoring right near end, getting a 2-pointer. I thought, yeah, that's good that. But how you expect them to come out firing anyway, Aussies.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the coach, in the sheds at halftime, Gaz, and you're only 4 points behind on the scoreboard. I mean, if you're the coach, what's your message to the lads? I know people can say it was already 2-0 in the test at that point, but you want to go down fighting and swinging, don't you?
Yeah, I'm saying more of the same. I'm saying I want to see more of that off the cuff play, obviously from Jeslett and putting the kick in and all that, which is very un-Shaun Wane like that sort of play. But I don't know if he said to him, "Don't take those risks" or what. But second half, it just went. The game left us again.
Yeah,
I think Willie Peters in changing room will say, "Cheers, lads, for not crushing Litton. Thanks for letting him kick the ball."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So I think you're hoping that England are going to go down swinging. Unfortunately, 4 minutes into the second half, England start a little bit scrappy and not switched on fully from half time. They go out wide, and the Fox, Josh Adokar, he was offside from the kick, and that gets disallowed. But you're thinking, well, there's a warning shot at you. And hopefully you're thinking, can they pick it up and maintain the defence and, be in it to the latter stages? To be fair to England's credit, they get back on the front foot. They force a couple of goal line dropouts. But again, England just can't break that line of the Australian defence. I mean, we say it every week on this podcast, don't we? Defence wins you championships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the way. I mean, I do think. I mean, I might be working this out wrong, but I think we've actually had more time in the Aussie 20 than they have in ours. Yeah. They've just managed to break the line down better than we have.
Yeah, well, they defend, and then once they get that one opportunity, they take that one opportunity, and that's why they're so clinical, aren't they?
That's all it takes.
I mean, that even in that Everton game when they played at the Everton's place in the second test, there was opportunities where we had good field position.
Yeah.
Or we'd force a pass and it'd go out wide, or we knock on because we're forcing it. It's just that sort of final third play which we couldn't break the Aussies down over the course of the 3 games, and probably realistically why the only reason we scored 2 tries, in sort of 3 tests. I mean, their defence is something else, but we have to be better moving forward, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the goal line attacking, I get them throwing it around a bit, but you want your big fellas like your Morgan Knowles, your Alex Walmsleys, you want those lads going at the line and just trying to get over, you know what I mean? But I think it's one of them need to live and learn from.
I don't personally feel like I think the forwards did a terrific job, really. In the 3 test series, it's the backs. We had nothing in the backs. Like, I think we can all agree this is probably a test or just games I've seen of Australia where I've not seen them play the best attack. They've won that on the defence. Like, the defence were realistic, like immense. If they weren't half as good in their defence, we probably would have won a game in this series. Because like Gaz said, we were down their half in the Everton game. We were there all the time, and they were making knock on all the time. They were making a lot of errors, but the defence were just rock solid. And I don't think I've ever seen Australia like that, because you used to seeing them killing teams off 40 points to 6, and with the great speed they've got, because obviously clearly they've got immense talent across the park. But then they did it towards the end of the game, didn't they? I think they got a sniff and then take it mick a little bit and started to run at us, and it was like game's gone by now. And they made that run, didn't they? And it was just it's that cheekiness, I suppose, of because they were so good in defence, they know they can just go, right, do you know what? We've all got this energy now because we've been defending for 20 minutes. You know what, right? We're just going to break line now. And just like that, they've got the speed of frigging, crazy. It's one of those.
Well, I've just pulled up the squad from the last time England beat Australia in '95.
Yeah.
You look at the players: Chris Wolinski, Jason Robinson, Paul Newlove, Darryl Powell, Sean Edwards, Andy Platt, Dennis Betts, Andy Farrell, Phil Clark, Chris Joynt. Are the players that we've got now at that caliber?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So
Not
it's a
so
coach.
sure.
It's changed so much,
Yeah,
though, hasn't it?
the game's evolved a lot since then.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I get what I get what you're saying, and it's hard to compare the two in it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's good players within this England squad, but they've been robbed of a chance. They've been robbed of putting their foot, best foot forward in terms of selection. I mean, there's a bit of a stigma goes round England with rugby league because it's the same with football. Are we actually as good as we think we are as national teams? Because when we play a lot of the top teams, whether it's football or rugby league, we seem to just not quite be there. I mean, absolutely.
I just think, like, do you know when we're going to this test series, right? And we haven't played since 2003, and I'm sure we'll all agree with this. Sure, Wayne picks his team for this test series, and he's going on. We've seen all these videos of him going into players and going, "Oh, blah blah, you won't get this chance again," all this stuff. And then he picks that team. I don't know how you can be for real to expect to win the series with that team, and like, he's that deluded that to pick a standoff who haven't met playoffs under par season, you know, I mean, I'm a big advocate of this as well. I don't know if you agree, Carl, but if you look at the Australian team, I don't think they changed their lineup that much, did the Fruit series? I think they kept more or less. I
The
mean, I
only
know
Yale really they changed, weren't they? Because he had injury. It's the only major one.
Yeah. But you look at that, right? Burgess, that's his only game he's played in Test series. And when you think of, like, I don't know if this kind of plays a part in it, but I'm sure it will do. You know, when you're swapping and changing people, like Dom Young got injured, so he didn't play. I know there were rumours that Tom Johnson wasn't going to play because he got injured last week, towards the end.
Yeah. Apparently, Jake Waddle was injured for the whole thing.
Yeah. But let's say, Newman comes in, Burgess comes in, and it's like, yeah, the test is over, I get that. But they've got so much pressure on their shoulders because, they have been picked for first two games and they're expected to then just bring up the goods in last game. And it's just a big change, big positions as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go into that a bit more in depth in terms of what the future holds for next year's World Cup and etc. But going back to the game, at that point, England was on top for quite for a good 10 minutes. They just couldn't knock that door down, so to speak. And then off the back of that, England give a penalty away. I mean, it's one of them where you think, oh God, the bubble sort of burst because we're there, and then we're not there. Off the back of that, we give a penalty away. Silly penalty. They convert, that makes it 18-8. I mean, sort of 13 minutes from time, the game's done, and Reece Walsh, he does what he does. He was very lucky with that.
That's about when it caught the rest of the game around that point.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's got good movement. He's got a good step. He's quick. He threw a ball. I think it hit one of our players, and it fell straight back into his arms, and he goes under the sticks and scores another try. I mean, Cleary converts. That makes it 8 points to 24. And with 5 minutes on the clock remaining, you're thinking England have done they just can't. They're just not there, are they? They're just not as good as the Aussies.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we couldn't break them down, and we've been punished towards the end. I mean, and then obviously 2 minutes from the final hooter, we have a scrum down again. Walsh goes through and touch with a left foot step, and then ultimately the final score finishes 8 points to 30. I mean, yes, England wasn't great in attack. We know Australia are a decent side, but thought the scoreline flattered them massively, Gaz.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at that Aussie side as well, they got some great players, obviously Reece Walsh, Nathan Cleary, Angus Crichton, and all that. But when you compare it again to previous Aussie sides, where you had the likes of Jonathan Thurston, Cooper Cronk, Cam Smith, Billy Slater, Paul Gallen, all that.
Yeah.
They're not, in my opinion, they're not even close to them, and they're still taking the piss out of us.
No, I think that's like an era thing, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
your Billy Smiths, your Billy Slaters, and your Darren Lockies and all that. It's sort of my era as well as yours, so it is difficult to compare them. But ultimately, you don't win a series if you're not the better team,
Just,
do you?
you're just
exactly.
praying,
Yeah.
aren't you, that you're just praying that they get to a decade where they've got four and a half backs, but it never happens, does it? Never
No,
happens.
they're just freak athletes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and with it being their national sport as well, lads, it's like football in England, isn't it? The Premier
Now,
League's the
I've
best
been
league in the
informed that
world.
it isn't the national sport over there. I've been informed.
and
Is it
if
not?
no,
Is it the
AFL and cricket
is
come
it
before
Aussie
it.
rules?
Aussie rules, then cricket, then rugby league.
What I would say is I think their country's about 5 times the size of ours.
yeah,
Yeah,
The
but they only
population
use
who's
what, a
actually
quarter of
playing
it.
rugby league.
Yeah. They only
Yeah,
use one side of it, though. The rest of it is inhabitable.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, so final score was 8 points to 30. Australia, they take a 3-0 whitewash in the series. I think we agreed the other night on his group, didn't we? Player of the match, Harry Grant. Any arguments for that, fellas?
I have.
no,
I'll tell you Australia's best player, Sean
No, I
Wayne.
mean for the match, not the series.
No.
Sean Wayne.
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt, Jordan. I love Sean Wayne.
No, you fucking. I'll wipe my ass with it.
But yeah,
No, yeah,
Harry Grant.
I think Hudson Young had a good run out across all three games.
I think I think you could have named anyone, couldn't you, in that game?
Yeah, well, we went, I think between the three of us, we went for Harry Grant for the third man of the match, didn't we? The third Test man of the match, and then
Yeah.
player of the series. I think we agreed on Cam Munster. I mean, even when he's not sort of up to it, he still pops up with a little grubber or a try assist, or he's probably the quietest but the best in that position as well. I mean, like I say, sometimes you just don't realise that he's there, and then all of a sudden, one opportunity, and he creates or scores a try, and that's, like I say, probably why he's the best number 6. I mean, attendance at Headingley was 19,500. I'm going to ask you. There's lots of differences between the two teams. I mean, for me, ultimately, the difference was the spines. You won your 9, your 6, your 7. I mean,
Well, for a start,
we
their
chopped
coach
and
played their
changed.
players in their positions for a start.
Yeah. I knew he was going to say that, but obviously Reece Walsh, Harry Grant, Nathan Cleary, and Cam Munster played all 3 games. They're absolute legends and top players playing in their position week in, week out. I think we made so many changes within our spine and never really give ourselves a chance within the series, and that's the biggest thing that sort of stands out for me, guys. I mean, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you look at that, I mean, say, example, like through the season with KR, like that spine was pretty much always Arsemorg, Mikey Lewis, Tyrone May, and Jez Litton. And that was like for the majority. When Arsemorg came in anyway, I know he weren't there at the beginning of the season, but once he came in, and that was a spine, it stayed that way. I thought that was a big part of the success of him this year. And it's not what Sean Wayne's done. He's pissed around too much.
Yeah, without stating the obvious, Jordan, is there anything that sort of stood out, which was the difference between the teams in the 3 games?
Don't you dare
Apart from
say
the
Harry
team
Newman.
selections, or
You dare say Harry Newman.
I'm expecting him to play the Jake Connor card.
Oh,
Yeah, Connor.
Jordan, he was gutted in that interview, wasn't he? He was absolutely devastated in that interview.
Oh, that interview! Oh God, I hated that interview. I'm actually a bit worried. It didn't seem that bothered about Rhino, which were a bit heartbreaking. I don't know if he's staying, which I don't know. Don't know about that.
Was that the one with Matt Shaw and Megan on their podcast?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they got him on. To be honest, he was quite honest, wasn't he?
Yeah,
to say the least.
Too honest, to be honest. You just, it is what it is, isn't it? I think every player in the Australian side are like an halfback, weren't they? I think they all had, when you're saying about Munster didn't always shine, and then he knocked up when he needed to. So I think everyone in team were like an halfback because they're all great with handle at ball. They were always doing something fancy. I mean, who's that number 2 that they've got? That bloody weird name guy who looks like him from Superbad with afro hair.
Josh Adokar.
No, the other guy, the guy who were playing Union last year.
Oh, Mark Nituaze.
That's him, yeah.
Mark.
Looks like Seth from Superbad.
I've completely crashed.
I killed him off.
I'm back. Oh,
Oh,
super
Jordan.
bad.
Oh, God. I love it. I love it.
It was just, it was just like, I don't even know what the question was now.
Yeah.
Like I say, when he had ball, wasn't it was him that did that bloody crazy try, wasn't it, in that real?
Do you know what, right? If he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have played on that Aussie side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I disagree. I've watched him quite a bit this year, and he is a freak in sort of tight spaces on that wing. I mean, he's obviously quality in the air as well, and because every time he goes up, he comes down with it, and he very rarely he sort of gives errors away. But I could mess around in training and think. I tell you what, I'm going to do it on big stage and see if it comes off because that's what happened. Gaz, before we move on to your sort of discussion in terms of World Cup and everything, I might be wrong in saying this, but I saw a lot of coverage over the 3 games in terms of the Aussies giving, fan engagement. And, I think Reece Walsh stayed for about an hour and a half after each game signing autographs. And there was people there watching them, captains running, all that type of stuff. And it was giving quite a lot of English fans a lot of time. And this may be me being negative again, but I didn't so much see that with England. Is something we need to brush up a little bit on and get more involved with supporters in these big tournaments and at the big stage?
Yes and no, because I want them to focus on the game first and foremost. You know what I mean? Instead of asking about it's great for fans, especially kids who are looking up to these players. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I want to be like him when I grow up or whatever. It's great for them, but I would rather see the players just focus on the game at hand, especially against that lot. I mean, if you come up against Scotland, no offense to him, but yeah, I can ask around before then. But
it's
yeah.
like
so what you're saying is it's selective then?
Yeah.
They're like rock stars though, aren't they? You know what I mean? Like Gaz said,
I think we see those England players every week, apart from like Farnworth.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're thinking you're an Australian team and you're about to fly back home, it's just that thing for a minute. They'll sign some autographs, probably get him a bit more. Cleary might get looked at a little bit more from Super League. Walsh might get noticed more now because he looks humble and stuff like that. But the facts are they'll fly home. That's it. They're not going to come back till God knows when. Walsh will obviously be back for World Cup Challenge, but you don't know when you're going to see them next now, do you? So for us, we do see them week in, week out. So
I mean, part of going to match games is to watch them Aussies.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like they're an attraction over here.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
It might just be me being a bit sort of saw certain things but didn't see it from England. Just never really saw the engagement between the English fans because let's be honest, mate, we've still got some lads who play in that England squad that are based in the NRL, the likes of Dom Young and Farnworth and Smithies and all these. So I get that to agree. It might just be me. I didn't see as much engagement as the Aussies was doing, and I think the league, the sort of week leading up to the games, I'd like to see a bit more of that because we all sort of moan and go about grassroots not being great and young lads not coming through. Well, why not entice them in by spending that bit more time with them, engaging? You know what I mean?
I mean, what I think they should have done, England team. Sorry, guys. What I think the England team should have done, they should have sent Sean Wayne there for a sacrifice.
Oh, bloody hell. The thing is, all right, we need to remember with the media is you'll only see what the media wants you to see.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's maybe that's a misjudgment from myself. It was more of an observation than anything. So yeah, hopefully we can keep going with that.
Also,
do you want to move us on?
also, I have another one with the England selection as well. Do you think it's time to bring in younger players into that England fold? Like your Harry Robertsons, your Lewis Martins, your Bailey Hodgsons. No, I'm sure you've got young lads at Leeds coming through who
Yeah,
would bite
yeah.
someone's hand off and work the balls
By
off
the
to
look,
play that game. Yeah,
Ashton Edgill, Alfie Edgill. I think that in that what England Knights is for.
Yeah, I've just about to
I
say
know, but
that.
it's just like it's not
They
quite
need
the
Few
same,
far
is it?
between the England nights, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the problem lies, Gaz, is England Knights needs to be a bit more bigged up a little bit more. I
Yeah,
think that's the case. I think they should have more of a say in, like say for example, we just done a test series. Why can't they have a test series? Why can't that be televised? Why can't that be bigged up? Do you know what I mean? And us play their B team, which probably will still have Cleary in there. So
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's one of those. I think that's where it lies because that is the reserves,
What
isn't it? More or less.
I'm partly answering your question, guys. I think what I'd like to see is I'd like to see bigger squads for the national game. So
Yeah,
even if you like the likes of your Robertsons aren't getting any game time, they're in the right environment moving forward.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
until
get some used to it.
into until competitions time or in a couple of years time, they're already integrated in the system. They know what's
yeah,
expected of them.
yeah,
They know the standards they have in training. So I think there's a lot more that can be done that we're
Yeah,
not actually doing at
and
the moment.
that one training session is not enough.
yeah.
No, no, exactly.
I know. I saw an interview today with Harry Newman, and he mentioned it. Considering he only played one game, he were actually saying he said that the camp it were good feel around camp. It were they were all training hard. It was nice that we were part of the group. So totally get where you're coming from. Totally get that. Just being
Yeah,
involved in that like healthy environment, I suppose. You know what I mean? It's good for your game, isn't it? It's good for your progressing.
here's one for next week. Like, so we've not been official yet, but they're saying, like you said, pencil in for every 4 years now, the Ashes. Put a
How was it?
13 together. Put a 13 together. Like, predict one for the next Ashes
What
of
predicts your
players that
next?
we've seen now.
Yeah, I think there'll be a
I'll,
few changes.
I won't make a prediction unless I know the coaches at the time.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
it could be bloody anyone, couldn't
yeah,
it?
that's a good shout.
But it's just a little
And
bit of fun, is
you
it?
know,
Come on, bloody hell, Cal. You just want treble. Fucking cheer up.
It's Sean Wayne. It's same 6 and 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. So I don't
But
know.
in four
It's
years'
all up
time,
for
they're
debate,
going to
mate.
be retired, aren't they? So,
He might be
Well,
still walking around on his mid-frame, selecting players.
one
yeah.
of the questions you need to ask is who we think will coach at World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well, this is it,
discussed
guys, in it.
this. Yeah, I discussed this on in that number. They don't necessarily have to be free. They can be coaching clubs at the same time. I believe Christian Wolf's contract is up with Tonga this year.
Would
Um,
he? You reckon he'd swap over?
I mean, if the offer's right, he could do,
Hmm.
but never know, do you?
I mean, I'm very like I say, I'm not even going to slate the guy in the sense of what I'm saying here. When Sean Wayne were appointed, I were actually quite happy about it
I
because
was I was excited about it.
yeah, well, when I was saying last week or week before, he's got that aggression which I think we've lost in the England camp, and when you play in Australia's, Kiwis, etc., and for us to win a World Cup or win a Test series, you've got to look at it and go, right, we've got to be ferocious, we've got to be good in attack, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. We're not going to win the game by playing our side. We'll have to properly give it to him. And I thought he's probably the best person for that. And then obviously he makes his selection, and straight off the bat, it's like it were no different to bloody Wayne Bennett, playing wrong players, wrong positions, and just
Yeah,
yeah. So for me, it needs a complete redo. It really does.
I mean, we know. I mean, I watched a lot of rugby over the weekend. I watched our game, and then I watched the Kiwis, and Samoa, and then I watched bits of Papua New Guinea and Fiji and all that. And I mean, if you was to, obviously we're English, we love England and we love the team and we always want them to do well. But if you was honest and you put your, your cap on, your honest cap, and where would you both see us now in the rankings in terms of, country? Because I don't even think we're in the top two. And that's not being me negative,
Australia,
that's me being honest.
New Zealand, Samoa, England.
I think some people might not think of it as a negative, the Test series. Or I don't know how it'd look at rankings if Test series is classed as out with rankings, but obviously Kiwis will have got second spot. We're winning that 100%. Obviously, I think Australia are number one anyway. Let's be honest. I think they were number one.
I don't think they've ever not been number one, have they?
Yeah, I don't think they ever have. And yeah, I don't see us in top three. I actually reckon Papua New Guinea will probably be above us. I actually do think there will be. I know they don't really do much in competition wise, but obviously they won that cup. So for me, even if it's just changed for a year, it's a 12-month. You know what I mean? I reckon they probably are above us. I reckon we're probably fourth.
I think, Gaz, I think ultimately, I think that between now and the World Cup, we need a couple of games leading up to the World Cup. We need to integrate.
Yeah, we have no warm-ups. We have no mid-season, especially now with 14 teams in Super League. We've got no chance of it.
They're gonna have to have one game at least. I can't just expect them to jump into a World Cup with no games.
In terms of. Sorry, Carl. Am I being completely negative here to say like I don't see us having a chance, no matter who we've got in this team? I mean, can you win a World Cup in Australia? Really? Like,
I don't think we can win.
We can't win one in England.
Exactly. We think we've got a World Cup in there. It's in our backyard, and then look what happens.
Yeah, I think you're a little bit. I think you're commenting off a bit of an emotion from the Ashes Test series, mate. I wouldn't say we couldn't win it. Do I think we'll win it? Probably not. Do I think we'll be somewhere near? Yes. If the coach selects the right players, integrate some young, hungry blood into that squad. I mean, there's probably bodies I'd like to see in there. The likes of Thompson and Sember, and a bit of size, a bit of some athletes, some young bodies who are going to come in and do a job for the long term rather than the short term. I'm just disappointed that he might have done that within the Ashes and used the Ashes as a bit of a stepping stone for these younger bodies.
Oh yeah, everybody think that Sean Wayne come up with an all. Oh, I'm picking players who know do a job for me. Oh yeah, done a great fucking job, didn't they?
Yeah.
Clown.
Yeah, George Williams just sat aside him going, yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Knowles probably by the time World Cup comes, Morgan Knowles will be an absolute beast.
He already is.
Yeah, but he'll be an absolute beast. There'll be steam pouring off him when World Cup starts.
Oh, I'm not wrong.
He'll hydrate
like a
himself.
Racehorse.
Yeah, sorry, Carl.
I just think moving forward, we need to start planning for the long term. I mean, we've all bagged Sean Wayne tonight, haven't we? And we disagree with what he's done. I mean, there's probably only, I think I read this morning that, what's his face? Maguire, the Aussie coach, Michael Maguire, I think he's been linked with the England job.
I'd say that.
I mean, who else? Yeah, I mean, who else could we sort of look at? Because we're all complaining about Sean Wayne and the game's changed and it's evolved and he's, stuck in the past and he's selected his mates. I mean, if we're all going off the back of our word, I mean, and we all think we know best, who would your choice be, Gaz?
I think Matty Peat would be a good shout as well, if you were to take it along with the Wigan job.
I'm gonna throw a right random.
You say there. Sam Burgess.
Oh yeah, Sam Burgess. Yeah, Jake Connor, mate. He's coaching Siddle now.
He's this guy's first coaching role now.
Anything to get him in the setup here.
Yeah.
He'll be carrying water next, as long as he's in setup.
He'll be the physio.
No, right. And there's what's the word I'm trying to use? You said it the other week. Something to my madness. Method to my madness. That's it. Madness. Right. Do you know what I would have done? Right. I would have stalled this appointment 12 months. I would have had in, and you guys probably won't have thought of this, but I reckon you'll agree with me when I say it. I'd have had Jason Demetriou coaching and not getting him coaching London Broncos until after World Cup.
I don't mind the idea of Dimitri coaching, to be honest.
Yeah. I
That's
reckon
one name I didn't think of.
he's got an RL experience. He knows what he'll get best out of NRL players. He knows English. I reckon he would have been quite a decent shout, to be honest. But obviously, that's never going to happen. That's probably like got a bit quiet there, Carl. What do you reckon?
I mean, no, I just wanted to get your opinion. You know, we're all entitled to his opinions, aren't we? And like I've just said, we've all bagged Sean Wayne, but what is the answer? Who is the answer moving forward? I mean, my first choice would have been what's his face, Paul Rowley, but obviously he's tied himself down with Saints. I mean, there's
Ian Watson, shout.
Yeah,
Ian Watson's one
just
I've
about
come
to
up with.
say
I don't mind that idea.
that would be my preferred pick, because as good as all these Aussie coaches are, mate, you can't beat your own, can you? I mean, it would be my pick. He'd learn a lot he'd learn a lot working under Willie Peters. And also, lads, from a Rovers point of view, you might even see Mikey Lewis start at 6 if he was coach. So, you know, maybe the proof's in the pudding. You know, so but again, it all will be revealed.
Right.
You know, so Gaz, you've got a bit of news moving forward, haven't you?
Have I?
You have, regarding after obviously this is the last podcast.
Oh,
we've got a bit of a stopgap between now and new season.
Yeah, so invited downers in that number to get footage of the game, interview players, get them to talk about Bryn and all that. Going to put it all into one big video package and then just do what they want with it. It's my honour to do it, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'll be chatting with our former head coach Paul Wellens tomorrow at the time of recording, getting his thoughts on Bryn Hargreaves as well.
Totally brilliant, mate. I mean, anything you can do to raise awareness in terms of the game, and obviously the charity stuff you do, it's, you know, from me and Jordan, we appreciate what you do for the game and these people that are involved. I mean, obviously that's our last test sort of review, Jordan. I mean, we've had a bit of a cracking 3 weeks in terms of complaining, moaning, but we love it, don't we? We love.
Oh, we've been like a trifecta of Victor Meldrews this last 3 weeks.
Yeah, rightly so. I mean, but we love it, and we're passionate about the game so much, aren't we? Whether it's St Helens, Rhinos, Rovers, or England. Just before we wrap up, then, Gaz, I mean, obviously the test series is done now. There's a gap between now and the start of the new Super League season. You've got a bit of news and a bit of an announcement for people listening that we're going to carry on doing certain things.
Yeah, so going to do little bits and pieces through the off season. We're going to extra time beyond the off season. I don't think we know what we're going to be doing yet, but I think we'll throw bits and pieces together just to keep a bit of momentum going and keep giving you lots something to listen to.
Yeah, well, there'll be plenty to discuss, won't there? I mean, we're getting news thick and fast every week with transfers and Bradford and Toulouse and York all sort of loading up their squads for the new season.
Yeah,
we appreciate everybody, don't we, who listens and who supports and basically just chats rugby league in general. So yeah, all good.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone for listening. Keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all that business. Thanks to Acorn Joinery Leeds for sponsoring, and we'll see you all next week.